So, they call him the Godfather of AI. And for good reason. For 50 years, Geoffrey Hinton pioneered the technology that pretty much powers our world now. But here's the twist. After a lifetime building it, he suddenly quit his massive job at Google to sound an urgent alarm. So what on earth did he see that made him walk away? Let's get into the chilling warning from the man who started it all.
And this right here, this is the heart of his entire message. This single sentence from the man himself captures the monumental, almost scary shift he believes we are living through. Think about that. For the first time in all of human history, we might not be the smartest things on the planet anymore.
Right, so that's the big question, isn't it? After dedicating his entire professional life to this one goal, what could he have possibly seen that made him switch from being its biggest champion to its loudest whistleblower? I mean, what could change a person's mind so profoundly?
So what was it? Well, it boils down to this number, 10 to 20%. That's Hinton's personal estimate, the probability that AI will eventually take over from humanity. Now let that sink in. It's not zero. And coming from the guy who knows this tech better than almost anyone alive, that is a shockingly high number.
Okay, so to really get why he's so worried, we have to rewind. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. See, his quest wasn't to build AI like we think of it today. His goal was way more ambitious and, frankly, a little out there at the time. He wanted to understand how the human brain works and then build one. You have to picture it. Back in the 70s and 80s, the whole field was basically split in two. Mainstream AI, over on the left, was all about logic. You know, programming computers with these rigid, if this, then that rules. But Hinton's idea, on the right, was totally different. It was inspired by biology. He believed real learning wasn't about rules, but about connections. Connections between neurons getting stronger or weaker, just like they do inside our own heads. And as you can see here, his idea was, well, it was a pretty lonely one for a long time. For decades, Hinton was basically out in the academic wilderness. The mainstream just dismissed these neural networks. His own PhD advisor even told him to give it up. But for almost 50 years, he just kept at it, totally convinced he was onto something huge. And this quote, I mean, this just says it all, right? For him, this wasn't just some abstract theory. It was this deep, unshakable belief. While pretty much the rest of the world moved on, Hinton just held firm, believing the only reason his models weren't working was simply because computers weren't fast enough. Yet. And then, after all those years of being dismissed, of being told he was on the wrong track, everything changed. In one single moment, his controversial idea wasn't just proven right, it completely demolished the competition. Okay, so the year is 2012. There's this big annual image recognition competition happening. The goal is pretty simple. You show a computer a picture, and it has to tell you what's in it. A dog, a car, a bullet train. For years, progress in this competition had been super slow. Just tiny little improvements each year. And this is the moment it all happened. Just look at this chart. The best systems in the world had an error rate of around 25%. Then Hinton's team shows up with their neural network. Their error rate? It drops all the way down to 15%. This wasn't just a little better, it was a quantum leap, a breakthrough so massive that the entire scientific community, which had been so critical, did a complete 180 almost overnight. So you see, that 2012 competition wasn't just some victory, it was the starting gun. It was the event that kicked off the global AI arms race that we are all living in today. It proved Hinton's whole biological approach was the way to go, and suddenly, every big tech company on the planet wanted in. And that's really when things started to shift. When his life's work went from being this fascinating academic puzzle to something with world-altering and potentially terrifying consequences. Which brings us right to the core of the problem. The dilemma that Hinton is wrestling with today. The very thing that makes AI so incredibly powerful and full of promise is also the exact same thing that makes it so dangerous. It's two sides of the very same coin. On the one hand, the potential is just unbelievable, right? AI is already helping us design life-saving drugs. It could completely transform medicine and education. It might even help us tackle huge problems like climate change. But on the other side of that coin, the danger is just as massive. We're talking widespread unemployment, powerful new tools for dictators, and the ultimate risk, an actual existential threat to humanity itself. Hinton has this great analogy to make the risk feel more real. He says, it's not some abstract sci-fi thing. It's like we're raising this really cute, fascinating tiger cub. And while it's amazing to watch it grow, we have absolutely no guarantee that it won't grow up and decide we're in its way.
We should be worried.
And look, it's not just about some far-off robot apocalypse. Hinton is pointing to dangers that are happening right now. The crazy spread of fake news and super sophisticated phishing scams. Entire job categories being wiped out. Think paralegals, customer service agents, growing inequality, and the development of battlefield robots that can decide who lives and who dies all on their own.
But the thing that really keeps him up at night is this long-term risk, super intelligence. And what's changed for him is the speed. See, he used to think, oh, this is 50, maybe 100 years away. But now he's saying it could be 20 years, maybe even less. And the really scary part is, he is absolutely certain we are not ready for it. So that's why we're seeing this whole new chapter in his life. His mission has totally changed. It's not about building the technology anymore. Now it's about pleading with the world to understand what we've unleashed and to do something about it before it's too late.
So, what's the solution? I mean, if the man who literally laid the foundation for all of this is this concerned, what does he think is the answer? What can we possibly do about it?
Well, he doesn't just ring the alarm bell and walk away. He actually has a few ideas. First, he's calling for a massive, urgent research effort into AI safety and control, with companies dedicating a big chunk of their resources to it. Second, he wants strong government regulation. And third, something like the Geneva Conventions for AI, an international treaty to ban autonomous lethal weapons.
And you know, this whole situation, it feels like we've seen this movie before. Hinton himself draws the parallel to Robert Oppenheimer, who after creating the atomic bomb, spent the rest of his life campaigning against the nuclear arms race he helped start. It's the ultimate case of creator's remorse.
But in the end, this is the real wisdom Hinton wants to leave us with. It's not a certainty of doom, but an honest admission of profound uncertainty. The most honest thing anyone can say right now is that we have stepped into completely uncharted territory. We've built something that might one day become smarter than us, and the honest-to-God truth is, we just don't know what happens next. The only real question left is, what are we going to do about it?